What we're going to do today, we're going to show you how to replace repair this this cable linkage on this is a 2006 Jeep Wrangler. The linkage, I've already repaired the one on the bottom. I had to do it with zip ties. You may have seen that video. I didn't make it, but this one here is the one that's right up under the gear shifter. Okay, and the way you get this, all you got to do is pop this piece right here. I'll get my finger up. Just pop that piece up with a screwdriver. Comes up from right here. That's all you got to do. And then what I'd recommend, what we did is we went ahead and when we got this on this piece right here, which is the linkage. See, it'll come right off. See, it just slides right off. That plastic piece that goes on here breaks. That's what happens. It's a little bushing like, and this fits over that bushing, and it just snaps on. Okay, well that gets brittle after a while, and the thing breaks, and this comes off. So what we did, rather than try to jury rig this thing, and we tried several different things, but what Alto wound up doing is drilling a hole. You can see it in the end of that shaft, and that's kind of tricky there, but just drill your hole in there. And then what we're doing now, we're going to put a bushing. Let me get this up here. We're going to put a bushing on here. He's cutting it off to the size we need, and then once we get that bushing on, we're going to put a washer back up against this part back here, put the bushing on, and then put the linkage, if we can get it here, put the linkage back on, and then put another washer on, and then we're going to take and put, see if I can get a little light on this thing. There we go. That helps. Oh yeah, that helps a little bit. Once we do that, we're going to get put a washer on there. Once we get all this on, we'll show you what we do when we get through, and then put a cotter pin, a cotter key in that hole, and then bend it back. And that'll if it had done this when they built this car, this part would have never broken. If it had built it just like what we're doing, it would have never broken. But that's the way you fix that. Now you can figure out some way to clamp something onto that shaft right there to hold that on. I've tried several different things, and it's just none of them have really worked that successful. What I did do, I took a safety pin, a small safety pin, and just snapped that on. All right. What I did, I took and snapped that on like that. Okay, just to get it over here so we could work on it. That way it would go in gear and everything. So, and if you want to do that and leave that little old safety pin on there, that's up to you. But I wouldn't recommend it. So we took that off, and what we're doing now is getting that bushing cut to size, and we're going to put that on, put all the washers and things on. We'll show you what it looks like when we get finished with it. But that's the best fix for it, and it'll be there for a while. So didn't find too many of these videos on YouTube. That's why I'm making this thing. I hate to see somebody else is frustrated, and you got to be careful when you're trying to put little clamps or thing on there. Because what it does, it'll fall down and it goes right up under there, right up under here. It'll go right. Let me get my fingers. See, there's not much room to work. But anyway, it goes right up under where that shaft is, and then you got to fish it out from under there. It's back down there. There's a little dip down in there. But anyway, I'm going to pause it just a minute. Alto's got his bushing and everything ready, so we're going to pause it, and then we'll show you what we got. Okay, what we're doing, we're going to have to ream this out. I forgot to tell you all this, but we're going to have to ream this out right here. And Alto brought his reamer out, but it was a little too small. It went all the way through. So what we're going to do is get a larger reamer and ream that out a little bit, so when we get that bushing on there, this will fit snug, okay? We'll have the washer back here, put the bushing on, and then we're going to put this on, and another washer, and then we're going to put that cotter key in there and bend it so it'll hold it on. Like I say, if they'd have built this thing, if they'd have done this when they built this Jeep, that piece would have been there forever. Just like on the bottom part of the shifter underneath the Jeep, it had the same problem. It looks just almost identical to this, but it's kind of hard to get on there to drill holes and things. But what I did is went under somebody else's recommendation. I put zip ties around this part here, around underneath on the bottom, around this a little better. It holds them a little better. There's a little out of focus here.
Let's try that. Probably getting in the way, but let's see if I can get it out to the back side. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, a bit more there. Still requires a little bit.
Yeah. A little more reaming.
Yeah.
So he got it reamed out. We're gonna slide it on there and see what it looks like. See if we got enough clearance to put the cotter. Yeah, we got plenty of clearance.
Mm-hmm. We might want to put a washer behind it too. You know?
Yeah, there's the washers. I fished those washers out of that hole I was telling you all about. So there they are right there. But you can see what we've done. What Alto's done. He's put that bushing in there. He had to ream the plastic part out a little bit to get that bushing in there. And first of all, he had to cut the bushing down to size. So, and that's going to go on. I guarantee you, that's going to be better than it was when it came from the factory. Ain't that right, Alto?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll get out of your way now. All right, we had to discontinue this because it started raining, but this is several hours later, but you can see what we did. We put the bushing on, we put a washer in the back, we put the bushing on, we put the plastic piece on, which is the linkage, and then we put another washer on, and then we put a cotter key or cotter pin on through the hole that we drilled. And I guarantee you that will be there for the life of this car. I hope this has been helpful to some of you, and it's not that big of a deal to do. Like I told Alto, I said how can something I said this is so frustrating. I've been working on this thing, trying to figure some way to get this thing on, until I finally put the safety pin on there and drove it over to Alto's. But I told Alto, I said, this is so frustrating. I said, I had beat I said, I know this, I've hurt this poor Jeep's feelings by cursing it all day long, but how can something so simple and so easy to get to be so difficult to work with when you got just such a small space? Well, what actually did it for us was turning the ignition on and bringing the gear shift lever back to drive or even back to low, and that brought it up and gave us a lot more room to work. So, but you can see what we did. That's all it is right there. That like I say, the biggest part of this is probably going to be drilling that little hole. Okay, but I guarantee you, like I say, this will be there for the life of this Jeep. And I couldn't find this anywhere for this particular Jeep. That's why we did this video. Hope you enjoy it. You can see more videos by Ron Jones. Just go to YouTube and type in Ron Jones, and I'll show up somewhere. I've got a lot of documentaries and things on, and we did one on Alto and I did on a 4-barrel carburetor for a 460 Ford engine, how to put a kit in it. So if you want to check that out, you can. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and it's dark, it's raining down here in the south. It's April the 1st of 2016. We got all this bad weather moving through here, but for some reason I didn't have this shot because of the rain when it started, so I came out here tonight in all this crap and got this shot so you could see the finished product. So that's it. That's the linkage. You can see it up right there. That's the gear shifter. Okay, that's where you see your park and everything on this. All you do is you just have to pop this piece up with a screwdriver from there on your console. That's all you got to do, and you can get right to it.